Hello and welcome everyone. In this episode of Clicks and Commerce, we are joined by Mr. Sidhant Keshwani, who is founder and CEO at Libas. Hi, Siddhant.
Hi, Anurag.
Great to be speaking with you. So, firstly, would like to understand about the overall consumer landscape in India and how they have evolved and how are they shopping currently, specifically in fashion landscape.
So, Anurag, I think one thing that is very important to notice is that the Indian consumer is actually the most spoiled consumer in the world, right? I mean, India में लोगों को चीज़ they wanted the fastest, they wanted a great at a great value, and and they want the best product as well, right? So if you look at the overall horizon, that the customer is so spoiled that even if one of the benchmarks or if one of these 3 4 parameters, if you're not very strong in, you will see that you're losing the consumer today. So what we are seeing is that today's consumer is a very aware consumer where they want the best of products, if, may whatever category it might be. They don't compromise on quality, they want the best fit, they want the best product, and secondly, they want it really fast. So speed has to be at the core of every decision that you take in your business, like whether it's quick commerce, e-commerce, or whether it's your store. So they want it really fast, and they're value seekers as well. That today, very difficult to convince a consumer unless until you have a really strong brand proposition to pay say 2x for a product that probably is worth, say for example, 2,000 rupees. Very difficult to demand the 5,000, 10,000 rupees from a consumer. So you have to be aware in all these three aspects, and that these are the true ethos of Libas, or the benchmarks, or the pointers that are there in our DNA, and that's how we build our brand from scratch.
Great. So, currently, are you catering to new age consumers more, or where your focus is currently? What's driving that focus now?
So, यार I'll tell you, हमारा journey बहुत simple था. When we started, right, people used to perceive कि Indian wear as a category is, was getting slightly out of fashion because same old traditional ways, same old traditional silhouette. There was no X factor, there was no modernization of the category that was happening. And that's where we came in. We realized that there is a huge potential today. Indian wear has the highest market share in the country in the apparel category, and while there's a huge potential, there was nobody really talking to the consumer in a modern lens. Still, you would see those stores, heavy gold structures with huge palaces, photo shoots done in forts. So that was how Indian wear was perceived. There was the definition in the language of an Indian wear brand when we, back in the day we started. So we realized that this is something we need to eliminate. So we're going to build a brand by elimination, because there's a thought process about an Indian wear brand, and you want to change that perception. Why can't Indian be perceived as a modern day to day, like how we perceive a Zara or an H&M? Why can't there be an Indian wear brand standing tall next to these brands and speaking in a more modern language, which the newer audiences really relate to? And that's when we built Libas. We made sure our aesthetics are clean, our store designs are clean, our communication is very modern, and we will only target and communicate to the women between the age of 18 to 35, which is, we can call the millennials or the Gen Zs. And we realize that in fashion, once you crack this age bracket, you would be appealing an aspiration to a consumer who's probably 90 years old as well. So that's what that was a clear strategy for us, when we started out Libas.
With your previous positioning as an ethnicwear brand, now as most of the D2C brands have entered the market, they started with online and most of them started offline also, and now tapping the other channels also and following an omni-channel approach. So, what's your approach and how are you balancing your previous positioning and with the new age consumers also?
So it's very clear today, 2025, if I speak about as a brand, you have to be present everywhere where your consumer is, right? And when we discuss what channels to be available in, there is absolutely no channel that we try to avoid. We've heard a lot of claims where people say that, fast fashion brands can't do well in the large format stores. Fast fashion brands can't do well in the quick commerce space. But we realized it that today, The recall of a consumer, it's actually the same consumer who's discovering a product offline in a store. The same consumer is going in, browsing your catalogs on your website. The same consumer is actually, now that they like the product for an event last minute, they want to buy it from quick commerce as well. So we realize that it's the same consumer. It's just the use cases are different, and the cycle of their purchase, in different time zones is very very different. But as a brand, if you're not available in every channel, you will probably miss out. Like today, for example, if a consumer wants to buy libas for a last minute party, right, and I'm not available on quick commerce, some other brand will, come and probably acquire that customer, instead of them buying libas. So we realized early in our days that every channel is important. The same consumer is going through multiple channels today, and you have to be available everywhere.
Absolutely. Being present on each panel is quite important in today's brand building. So, also moving forward, would like to understand about the technology part. What role technology is playing in your business, and how technology is helping to scale further on each channels.
Of course, I think today, and this is a conversation, we used to discuss back in the day. So, apparel as a category is, I think I can openly say that it's the most crowded category and the most competitive category today in the country, right? And we realized that early in our days that the question was, why are there no 100 crore, 500 crore, 1000 crore, 5000 crore brands in India in fashion, when especially so many people are working in this space, right? It's a brutal competitive space, and people have very limited recall towards brands, right? So we realize that today, in a competitive industry, to build a brand just on good product, it's not going to be enough. Good product has to be there. I mean, you can't discount that, right? That's the most important key ingredient to build a business in any category. So we realized that if you really want to build a truly 500 crore, 1000 crore, 5000 crore brand over the next few years, it's not going to be just built on fashion, it's going to be built on efficiency. And that's when we realized that our core DNA as a brand is not just going to be calling out fashion or good products, it's going to be technology. And uh, and and there are ways, multiple ways, where efficiency in the organization has been achieved, and we solve small problems through technology. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about the big buzzwords that go around of, AI merchandising and virtual trial rooms and all. I'm not going to go there. I'm saying such small basic things that are getting solved today, that, I mean, most businesses should adapt, and it's working extremely well for us. Just to give you a small example, how the use of AI in allocating inventory in multiple warehouses. I mean, back in the day, we had teams sitting on Excels, which were like probably like 1 million rows in an Excel sheet, trying to allocate inventory for hours on multiple warehouses, right? Today, it's happening with the click of a button, because the system already knows, it's intelligent enough to understand where the traffic is coming from, what were the past sales in whichever region that we were at, and it's allocating inventory within a few seconds. Just one example. I think another example would be the use of technology and AI, where in today's competitive scenario, and I think this was a discussion that I was having recently with another founder, and how it's making such a huge difference, is that people's attention span is so limited today that when they're actually browsing, they will lose interest within a few seconds if the content is not relevant, right? And we realize that today, why is Instagram today? Why is it that people are not ready to leave, scrolling? They're probably spending 5 hours in a day just scrolling, because every content that they are seeing is actually relevant to them. I said, why can't we replicate a similar experience on our website or on our app? Why can't it be another Instagram where every product that is being displayed, why can it not be relevant to that consumer? Why can't we add that layer of personalization where they keep on scrolling, and it's like social media for them, and create beautiful images, videos, and make sure that they spend hours on your website rather than going on Instagram. So I mean, they're just small ways we adapt technology, and I think there's so much efficiencies that can be achieved, and AI, I think, is just the beginning. The kind of problems that are getting solved now, it's unbelievable, and nobody would have thought, that this is how commerce would be driven in 2025. So this is what our view about technology is.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think most of the consumer trends are building on those lines only. So would like to understand more. Is it the thing that that is setting you apart from other brands? And how do you see the consumers in tier 2, tier 3 cities also? Because AI can be utilized across your website, and you can get the data also. So how are you differentiating between between the fashion brands that that you have?
So when we say fast fashion, right, fast fashion means a lot of experimentation. So I think experimentation is in our DNA. And fortunately for us, we've for every experiment that we do, whether it's targeting metros, whether it's targeting smaller towns, we do a lot of experimentation in merchandise, in probably the way customer is perceiving, in how you catalog, how you show your imagery, how you do your marketing campaign. So we experiment a lot across different regions. Like in fact, something as small as Google ads or Facebook ads, we try a lot of typography, we try a lot of different visuals, and we see a lot of them don't work. I mean, but what we are great at is how we differentiate it is we're very fast in understanding what's working and what's not working. Like today, this year, we're approximately launching about 80 to 100 new options every week, which is, I would like to believe, one of the fastest in the country in the space of fashion. And I'm not saying all our experiments are good or they all of them are successful, but the speed that we identify what's working and what's not working and what to double down on, that is something that we are exceptionally good at. I think we are the best at that. I would like to believe that, and this is what differentiates us from a lot of other fashion brands.
Great. So, one more thing about this is the kind of strategy that you have been following. So, is this the strategy going forward also? I mean, next 2 to 3 years, how are you envisioning about the brand?
So I think we are going to double down on our speed. We are going to infuse technology with a lot of things. We are expanding. So of course, it's been 10 years since we are doing e-commerce. Offline is still a new baby for us. So still there is so much open space and adapting technology, because technology in e-commerce is something that people are still, used to and aware, and that things are happening. Now we're getting the same learnings, and we are implementing that in the offline side as well. Like looking at a store, we are saying that we are not going to be a traditional store where people are coming in, probably how those Indian wear stores are, right? I mean, if you ask your parents, they would be used to it. They'll probably attend to you, they'll make you have tea, coffee, make you sit down, show the products, etc., and all those things. We are saying no, we are going to infuse a lot of tech in our stores as well. It's going to be a complete DIY solution. It should be like a website. I feel that today it's just the only difference between a store and a website should be that instead of probably touching the screen and scrolling, you're just going through the products and touching them, with your hand. That should be the only differentiation. While there are always going to be people to assist you and help you, we want to create an infrastructure and a system where today your journey from the moment you enter the store till your checkout, it is completely seamless and self-explanatory. Even if I'm probably wanting to communicate my new story or any new collection that I've launched, nobody should be have to come and tell you and speak to you about it. From the visual merchandising that we do, the kind of products, how we display it, it should all be self-explanatory. And that's the kind of experience we're trying to create in stores as well.
Great. So, I mean, these are the three things I think you are focusing on, and every fashion brand should focus on. I mean, agility, a great consumer experience that you just mentioned about, and refreshing your SKUs with time. Obviously, these are the things that a brand should follow. So, is there also any play that you are doing for international market also?
When I started this and a few years back, my vision for Indian wear is that how we are modernizing it and how we are infusing it with the Western trends and the modern trends. I feel there is a huge potential, and hopefully, we are one of the first few brands to do that, to make Indian wear a global phenomenon. When we say international, we don't mean that we're going to target only the international Indian consumer, probably living internationally. We feel that today, the way the things are going and how we're modernizing Indian wear, you would see, walking in the streets of London, some local were probably wearing Indian wear clothes, which is going to be, we've seen that with a lot of countries, right? Local fashion going global, etc. We feel that Indian wear has the same potential, and we are going to make every effort to making this kind of fashion global.
Good luck for your future, and I hope your brand grows from India to global and make in India to made for the world.
Thank you, Anurag. Thank you.
Great, adding the great insights from your end. Thank you so much for connecting.
Thank you, Anurag. Thank you for a lovely session.